The Near East, a strategic region, a crossroads of peoples, the cradle of ancient civilizations, at the junction between Europe, Africa and Asia, it extends from the shores of the Atlantic to the Indus Valley, from the Mediterranean to the Indian Ocean. The morphology of the territory is mostly arid or semi-arid. Water resources and soil have been further impoverished due to erosion, progressive desertification and urban migration. The political and social precariousness in the area and the difficulties of the peace process have also reduced the already poor agricultural potential of the region. In this context, rural women play an essential role in providing the food requirements for their families. Out of a population of over 300 million, rural women represent the most disadvantaged segment. Almost 20 million of them live under the poverty line. Life expectancy at birth is equal for males and females, but mortality rates linked to maternity remain very high. The birth rate is one of the highest in the world, and this has led to increased malnutrition, especially in children under 5. I work here as a midwife to help other women. 70 to 90% of the expectant mothers are anemic. Women have particular nutritional requirements, especially during pregnancy and nursing, but these are not recognized in many societies. This discrimination is often extended to girls and compromises their health in both the short and long term. In general, agricultural production is slightly on the increase, whilst cereal production is on the downturn. The majority of farms are small, less than 10 hectares, and occupies some 25% of the arable land. They provide a large part of the population with subsistence agricultural products. In limited areas, however, intensive cash crops can be planted using new and appropriate technologies, such as strawberries, successfully grown in the Gaza Strip. I work all day from morning to evening. We do not use chemicals or pesticides, and nearly all the strawberries we produce are exported. In patriarchal societies, the head of the family has the control over activities and decisions. Women's work is not paid, even if it takes up most of their day, on average from 12 to 16 hours. These cultural traditions create major inequalities from a legal point of view and in land ownership, as Islamic custom restricts women's inheritance rights. Nor have the agricultural reforms and the major irrigation projects taken women into account. In Egypt, for example, the extensive irrigation plan in the Nile Delta, supported by the FAO, has assigned only 7.5% of the land to women holding diplomas in agronomy. I read in the papers that they were distributing the land, and I came. I got 5 fedans from the government. At first it was very hard for me to live far from the city, but now I'm married and I like it. Having land is a guarantee for a good future. But very often, women and girls are employed only as farm labourers in intensive agriculture because they are more hard-working and submissive, and because their daily wage is half that of men. I'm 19 and I left school to help my family. At 5 in the morning I go to the square where they hire the labourers. They bring me here with other women and I work for 10 hours, for 25 to 30 dirhams, about $3. In the region, agriculture depends on the rains, which are poor and insufficient. For this reason, only 7% of the land is arable. If no solutions are found, the problem will increase in the next few years. In the dry season in Somalia, it takes women and children many hours a day to look for and carry the water they need for their family and to water their herds. The continual displacement enforced by the nomadic way of life also further complicates women's lives in many areas. Generally, it is the women who look after the animals: cows, camels, donkeys and goats, which, together with barnyard animals, enrich diets and provide an additional source of income. The goats don't only give me milk. I can sell one or two when I need money for the house or for my children. Female illiteracy in rural areas where tradition is still strong remains high, in spite of the progress made over the last few decades. In many countries, it stands at 50% or above. In Egypt, many schools have opened in rural areas, guaranteeing that little girls get a primary education as well. There are few countries where, as in Palestine, female university students are equal or higher in number than males.
For the woman, something very special, because they have to be responsible for their family, and this is just not easy. And also they have to work to get money.
Education is the first step towards associative life, but the presence of women in cooperatives and agricultural associations is very low and represents only 10% of the total. Even if in many countries, such as Egypt, Palestine and Morocco, an increasing number of women are taking part in collective training activities to improve their knowledge in agriculture and have greater opportunities for employment, thanks to international projects supported by the United Nations and in particular the FAO. In this training center, we help the women to develop various kinds of agricultural production, livestock raising, processing milk and craft activities, so that they can have a greater access to the market. At the large market in El Fayoum, 100 kilometers south of Cairo, women are the protagonists in selling. Minor independent businesswomen whose daily work guarantees food security for the population. A new activity that has sprung up is the transformation and sale of food. I'm 43 and have 4 children. They are all studying. I cook traditional dishes at home and then I sell them in the street until the evening. Every day I earn between 15 and 20 Egyptian pounds. The sale of ready-to-eat food on the street is an expanding activity and means that the inhabitants of large cities can eat cheaply every day. In the whole region, women, with the help of projects promoted by the FAO, play a major role in the daily struggle, despite unequal conditions which do not allow the full development of their potential. Tradition and the laws still in force in many countries keep them in a situation of inferiority. Greater awareness is needed of their rights, leading to the identification and solution of legislative problems and the public recognition of their role.